Welcome back, Profs. We got another great episode full of Rowan sports and events that occurred during these past 2 weeks.
From Rowan University,
It's Profs Huddle. What's going on, Rowan? It's your guy, Mally.
and I'm John.
With Rowan spring break occurring recently, let's recap how our baseball and softball teams did in Florida. Baseball competed in the Russ Matt Central Florida Invitational. They faced off against 9 different teams in the Sunshine State. The team was able to get a 7-game winning streak rolling. As you see, they had a dominant performance against Penn State Abington, Salem State, and Ohio Northern. They saw a tougher game against Wisconsin Lacrosse, but unfortunately, the winning streak would come to an end as they would lose against Bethel with a score of 7-4. They didn't let the loss stop the energy, though, as they came back strong against Southern Maine to finish their spring break with a 9-5 win.
Softball also headed down south to play ball in the spring games, where they would face 12 different teams. They bobbled between wins and losses, sweeping the Coast Guard 4-0, falling short to Swarthmore 0-4, but destroying St. Scholastica 10-0. From then on, they would go on a 4-game win streak to finish out their time in the sun.
After their road trip down south, both teams head back north to continue their regular season. On March 25th, softball came right back with a doubleheader versus Rosemont at home, where they absolutely destroyed both games. In the first inning, Kat Thomas is up to bat and she hits a double with bases loaded, bringing 3 runs home. Then we have Peyton McNair up to bat, hitting a double, bringing Thomas home to make the score 4-0. Up next, we have Abigail Pulowski also hitting a double. This would bring McNair in. In the second inning, score 5-0, Kat Thomas back up to bat. She hits a single, bringing McCaffrey and McNair home once again. The Profs are really starting to pull away with this one as Pulowski goes up to bat and hits another single, pushing not 1, but 2 more runs home. The Profs would close out the second inning with a score of 9-0. Rolling into the third inning, Caitlin Riggs hits a single after letting McCaffrey come home. Then Morgan Tripodi also hits a single, bringing another run home, and scores now 11-0. Next up, we have Pulowski again, hitting another single, bringing Peyton McNair home. This unfortunately would leave Riggs on third, waiting for a run, but this all will change when the catcher loses control of the ball, allowing her to make the steal, moving the score up to 13-0. Mackenzie Melvin goes up to bat and was hit with the pitch in the arm with the bases loaded. This would bring Tripodi back home. And if it wasn't already bad enough for Rosemont, immediately after they would hit another batter. With bases still loaded, Cami Morgan's last at-bat would allow for Pulowski to come home and make the score 15-0. Then we have Grace Shakakis up to bat and walks on 4 balls with the bases loaded, bringing Bryant home, putting the Profs up 16-0 going into the 4th. Finally, Rosemont decided they wanted to get in on the action. Cheyenne Willoughby hit a single, bringing Kendrell Stroll home, making the score 16-1. Unfortunately for Rosemont, Rowan's Allie Ream hit a single, bringing Kat Thomas home going into the 5th inning. The game would end early due to a mercy rule. Rowan would win the game 17-1.
Second game, bottom first, Kat Thomas 0-1 count. Kat Thomas smacks a line drive up the middle, sending Zara McNair and Melvin home for an RBI single, making the score 2-0 Rowan. Fast forward to bottom of the 4th, Morgan Tripodi crushes the ball to right field, letting Caitlin Riggs score for an RBI triple, scores 3-0. Next at the plate is Abigail Pulowski, runner at third, 1-2 count drop off of a fly ball to right field, sending Tripodi home with an RBI single. Keeping the streak alive, Brian hits a grounder down the first baseline, sending Pulowski home for an RBI triple. Rowan leads 5-0. The count's 0-1. Brian at third up, At the plate is McNair, who hits one to left field, sending Bryant home for an RBI double. Cat Thomas is back at the plate, runners at first and second, singles to right field, advancing the runners, but results in an error at the plate, allowing McCaffrey to advance to third and McNair to score. McNair up at the plate, count 0-2, hits a grounder to shortstop Kendall Stroll for a sacrifice RBI. Rowan puts out a tremendous job, finishing the game with a score of 8-0, marking the second Mercy Rule win for the Profs. Back up to North Baseball, who continued their hot streak, winning March 19th, 20-8 against Haverford, and on March 20th played a really strong back home versus Newman. Let's check out the highlights now.
In top of the first inning, Brandon Colon up to bat. Brandon hits a double, bringing A.J. Nardo home for an early 1-0 lead for Newman. Going to the bottom of the inning, Phil Sedalis also hits a double to bring in Tyler Cannon. Adding to the mix, Del Maria rips a single, sending Sedalis home, putting Rowan up 2-1. Getting into the third inning, Jason Morgan was up to bat and swung for a single to get Sedalis home once again. Nick Struble steps up into the box and grabs himself a single to bring Anthony Schooley home. Up next, we have Mason Dorsey, who comes up to the plate and hits a single, bringing in Morgan, making the score 5-1 Profs. Moving to the fourth inning, Sedalis is busy at bat, flying one deep to pick up a triple, sending Cannon in to score and adding to the lead once more. In the same inning, we have Schooley hitting a single, allowing Sedalis to bring the run home and score another point for the Profs. Morgan continues to rally with a single to easily bring Schooley in to make the score 8-1 now. Heading into the seventh, Newman tries to bring themselves back with Anthony Rakouts hitting a double, bringing in Marcus White home. Matt Morrison hits a straight to second baseman for an out. And finally, I have A.J. Nardo stepping up to the plate, where he would hit a pop fly, bringing in Gatlin Hoovenstein to make it 4-8. Profs right back in the bottom of the seventh with Captain Cannon gets up, it hits a double, bringing Binkus home to make it 9-4. Shortly after, Newman throws a crazy pitch that the catcher is not able to stop, so Struble makes his move home to third, or home. Finishing the seventh, Sedalis hit a single, having Dorsey punch in another run for an 11-4 lead. With Newman down in the eighth, we see Andrew Curran smash a home run deep in center field. However, this will not be enough for Newman as the score deficit is too big for them to come back. We enjoy the home run trot, but Profs still take home the W 11-5.
Staying on the topic of baseball, have you ever wondered why pitches fly the way they do? Well, luckily we got an inside look at how pitchers get the ball to do exactly what they want.
I'm Ryan McKenzie here at Rowan Baseball Practice, where we got a chance to talk to starting pitcher Mike Shannon about what goes into his game and the season so far. How has the season been going so far for you and the team?
It's been great. I mean, guys here, it's like a family, so that's been awesome. And we win a lot of games, which is also always fun, but it's just been nice. It sucks that it's the last year, so it's going to be ending soon, but we'll make the most of it.
The career 3.83 ERA starter was kind enough to stick around and show us exactly how he grips his pitches.
It's a slider here, and I hold it like this. Pretty much just trying to get around the ball, come in here, and kind of snap it down at the end. Throw it the whole time you're going like a fastball until the very end, and kind of spin it at the end to get that later break to it, kind of deceive the hitter. This is one that I started throwing last year, just like a cutter. It's kind of like the same thing as a slider. It's a little faster, more like a fastball even, just with a little cut at the end. So when the hitter sees it, one's coming this way, one's coming that way, kind of the same speed, so they can't really, it's harder to tell, and it helps kind of get hitters out. And then I'll go change up here too. This is like a circle change, kind of just try to stay nice and loose off the ball and kind of just pronate through. Kind of same thing as a fastball where it's coming into a righty, but it's slower and it falls off, falls down, kind of gets onto the barrel.
The Profs are looking great, currently sitting at 12-2 in the year and are looking to continue their success and get back to the NCAA tournament.
It's always nice to get an inside look at stuff like that. They make it look so easy most of the time. On the topic of throwing, I'm going to throw over to Mally for the weekly awards.
Today we wanted to award some new titles to some of our outstanding profs here at Rowan in these last 2 weeks. These are our weekly awards, Women History Month edition. First up is the first ever winner of the Titan Toss Award, going to none other than Izzy Deal for breaking Rowan's outdoor shot put record of 13.22 meters. Congrats on breaking the school record, Izzy. Let's keep up an amazing season. Keeping things lit, the Hot Shot Award goes to Elena Corson for leading her team with 22 goals so far this season. She continues to attack the goal, making it look easy out there. Goals better be watched out because she always comes in hot. Keeping the awards rolling, this prof pitched a no-hitter in Game 1 against Haverford on March 22nd. The winner of the Girl on Fire Award is Riley Lutz. Throwing the 32nd no-hitter in Rowan history, she was throwing straight heat for 81 pitches. Keep an eye out for this one because she always brings intensity in both skill and passion this season. Last but certainly not least, we have the winner of the Miss America Award, Ella Pennington. She broke her own school record in the 200 backstroke, getting a historic time of 2 minutes, 1 second, and 11 milliseconds, finishing 9th place in the NCAA Division III Swimming and Diving Championship. Her amazing ability to speed in the water gave her the honor of the All-American second team. What an amazing season for a young sophomore. Way to go, Ella. Now, we talked about a lot of sports here today, but Rowan was lucky enough to get a visit from someone who talks about sports more than anyone. Stephen A. Smith took a trip to Rowan and inspired many students along the way. One of them, our producer, Melanie, who got to talk with him and see how he got his start in his journey from one of his professors. Here are some looks behind the scenes.
And your transition into the media, was it really hard for you or kind of good because you are coming off of a student athlete?
Well, it's always hard because it's really about those doors opening for you. Sometimes the hardest opportunity is usually the first one. I started writing for the school newspaper, fantasizing about having a career in sports journalism. My critical and persuasive writing class, the professor just so happened to be the editorial page editor of the local Winston-Salem Journal newspaper. And he read an essay of mine. He said, "You're a natural-born sports writer. Let's go out to lunch and talk about what you're thinking about with your future." He took me 5 minutes away to the Winston-Salem Journal newspaper and walked me right upstairs to the sports department. And the sports editor, by the name of Terry Oberly, sat down with me for 5 minutes. 5 minutes later, he said, "So when can you start?"
Wow.
And gave me a job as a sports clerk. They helped make me a sports writer. Mm-hmm. And so it's a lot of luck.
Yeah.
It's a lot of luck, a lot of blessings. Came with hard work, but I'm where I am today in large part because their heart was in the right place.
Wow, what a super cool experience and a lot of great advice. Thank you, Stephen A., for making the trip. As per usual, our profs had great games, plays, and performances these past few weeks. Our women athletes are making headlines throughout all our sports here at Rowan. Thank you for watching and cheering on our profs.
But don't you worry, we're right back here on Wednesday, April 10th. We have so much more in store for you prof fans.
I'm John.
I'm Mally, and this has been Prof Huddle.